This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
What have you done to me? What have you done to me, Britney?
We got a circus in here today.
I know. We've already done the food show. We've done the employee show.
We found the 10-second delay button.
Yes, we did. And Brandon is sitting on it as we speak, so he doesn't have to go too far.
Well, Smokin' Joe's back, and he has a fast and fun circle of friends. If you remember, he brought in Lars Larson and Tommy Croft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so today's guest,
Is none other.
Well, let's see if the listeners can guess before I say his name. He was quite often referred to as one of the smoothest and natural riders of his time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I heard that growing up from my father. I've read up on our guest, and it was always one of the smoothest, one of the smoothest. In his 6 years professionally riding, he won, I believe, 11 national championship races, and has been inducted in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Is this all true? Give me a nod if I'm right on this.
He's not nodding.
He's not even moving. He's not even moving.
Pull over next to that microphone. I mean, you got big pipes, but you got to
We have today Marty Tripes.
Absolutely. And
Quaaludes will do you wonders when you want to be smooth. Just take a lot of Quaaludes.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. See, it works.
That was left out of the latest article I read about. Actually, they said you were one of the first to really be up on using your legs a lot.
No, Joe Robert from Belgium was.
Is that where you picked it up from?
Yes, he was my hero. You know, he went back then when 12 years old, we didn't have internet and all the stuff that you could get instant pictures and information. So
and magazines, a lot
it
of
was
magazines
that were 3 months late and this and that. And there was Joel. He's famous for standing up. Uh-huh. And I just knew right then that's what I had to be. So
I
practiced
suspension.
that.
I was going to say, did you practice that first to see if there was any difference in your performance?
It's too stupid to know any better. I just did it.
Because he did it.
That's right.
If he'd rode backwards, you'd have rode backwards.
I do ride backwards sometimes.
On purpose?
At parties on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Poor Smokin' Joe's over here going, I might as well just leave now.
Hey, what year did you win that Super Bowl of motocross?
Oh, yeah.
1972 was L.A. Coliseum.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't you 16 or something? Like
I
super
turned
young.
16 by 9 days.
Oh.
Wow.
It's they're saying it's probably a record we'll never
I was going to say, that's
be
the
beat in
youngest,
our
isn't it?
lifetimes. Yeah. Maybe.
And
It's
there again, you didn't know what the hell you were doing. You're just out having fun riding a motorcycle.
I was a Czechoslovakian Mexican trying to do good.
And you rode. What did you ride? What did you start off with?
Oh,
No, what didn't he ride? Oh,
everybody started with the step-through CT 90s, you know.
Sure.
So that's what I started out
Yeah.
on. And just grew from there. It was like the bicycle. Never rode a bicycle. My dad bought it. It was a Christmas present and
Oh, cool.
put it together. He sat me on. He says, here's the pedals and here's the brakes. And he pushes me down the hill.
Sure. That's my dad, too.
Oh,
My dad usually, pushes me in the deep end.
so
You
it
learn.
was the same on the motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm sure it
There
was.
you go, kid.
Yeah, yeehaw. Oh, look, he crashed.
Yeah.
Let's
What's
go.
that front brake do? You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's grab that thing
Yeah,
real quick
handful.
and see how
No
things go.
idea.
Well, we talked a little bit off air. In fact, now that I know you guys are local, we'll probably drag him in for an hour and actually do a whole hour.
I want that.
I know
With
you do.
Lars, Tommy Croft.
Yeah, we
Tribes.
could have a lot of fun because we talked a little bit off air that people don't realize. Like last night, they had motocross on last night, and all the bikes and all the technology and the crews and and all that. None of that back in your day. I mean, you did you have a whole team behind you when you started?
Well, not in the beginning, but when we turned pro, it was like 70. Everything got started with factory mechanics and sponsorships.
Yeah.
And they worked out of a box van for for many, many years.
Not a semi.
Oh, no. That was – these guys got jacuzzis in their semis.
I know.
And,
Stop.
you know,
They do.
Munster girls. We were lucky to have Joe Stidman in there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That'd be scary in itself. But, you kind of cut the trails with technology, shock absorbers, wheels, brakes, chassis, even engines.
Yeah, we were the innovators.
The R&D guys.
The R&D guys truly is what we were. A lot of these guys don't know this, but today, say the LA Coliseum in 72, the bike I couldn't feel it very good. It was off in the front and back. I couldn't feel what it needed to do. So, Santee common sense, we got not much to work with out there. I thought, God, when I get on a teeter-totter in the schoolyard, you got to stand in the middle of it, and you put one leg on the other, and you can feel the teeter-totter, which pressure. Yeah. And that's what I was missing, the feel in the bike. So at a very young age, I knew that, and I switched our bikes around. And when I got to the LA Coliseum, our factory Yamaha, we had done that. And Thorsten Hallman, the 5-time world champion or 4-time world champion, was the go-to guy for Yamaha of Japan for the new works Yamahas. And he came to me before practice, and he's looking at the bike. Marty, I don't think this is going to work. Where are you do with this? And I said, I don't know, Thorsten, my God hero, you're telling me it doesn't work?
And he hadn't even seen it go around the track yet.
So went out and waxed them, came back. The other Swedes that were on factory Yamaha, the Czechs on CZ, the other Swedes and Huskies, they all came to my pit afterwards, and they're pointing and looking at the bike, and Thorsten comes up and he says, would you please tell that story to them again? You told it to me, but explain it to them. And so that's one of the things I did in motocross that's been a factor on every bike company. I should have patented it.
Yeah, you should have.
You know how many tamales I could have bought by now?
Oh, my God. Tons of them.
I could have used Heartland meat. All my stuff would have been great, but nope.
Nope.
Well, but back then, that wasn't your goal.
Right.
Your goal was to win.
We loved motorcycles, and we loved racing.
Yeah.
We did it way too cheap. We should have been way more dead. We lost Jim West. Was a sad day, but that was way later. But so now that's a standard. The swinging arm on any bike, modern, the foot peg is directly under it.
Yeah.
So that it's
stays like a teeter-totter. Yeah, you should have. There's no doubt you should have patented. So how long did you stay with Yamaha?
Oh, the second time or the first time?
First time.
1 year. I was young, dumb, and all that.
Say, I can go over here and get this. This will be better.
Yeah, there was a lot of pride back then from the Swedes and the the Spaniards and the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
We make the bike; it's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, they got 100.
That's the Japanese right there.
Yeah, they got 140-pound packed fish rider.
Yeah.
That can't even bottom out the bike, and they're thinking, "Hey, this guy here is good," but we go to Japan, we lap the poor guy.
Yeah.
And not to put him down, but they didn't have guys that could go fast over there. And that happened for a good 9 years. They would not listen to the American riders or the Europeans. So the bikes come too soft, and there was a lot of things off. And they finally started listening to the factory riders.
Well, as you're standing there with all your trophies, say, that's okay. You don't need to listen to me. It's perfectly okay.
Exactly.
This is just a paperweight. If you want to hold it, you can hold it. But,
So to answer your question, I was a little more hardcore.
Yeah.
So I went from factory to factory to factory.
Right.
I hold the world record of 14 factory rides. There's not even 14 factory manufacturers out there today.
I know. Wait a minute.
Nobody wants to beat that record, I don't think.
Well, it's kind of like when I was a service manager. Instead of going to work for a good dealership, I used to work for all the bad ones and try to fix them.
Oh.
Right.
And try to make them better. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Man, I tell you what, I wish this was a whole hour.
I know. We haven't even gotten to Smoke
We
and
got
Joe.
Dirt Dude on the line. Is anybody called in from Scott? Oh, looks like these two. Oh, my goodness. We're going to go wild again.
I got plenty.
On FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Welcome back. You are listening to Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Scott Delosio normally calls in, but I think he's a little tied up today. So we will talk to Smokin' Joe and Marty Tripes.
Oh, yes.
So what's this event you got coming up there, Sunshine? Get close to the mic.
Not quite an event, right, Joe?
Well,
Sorry.
I don't know. Marty Tripes is my hero, one all-time hero. I saw him win the Super Bowl of motocross in, what was that, 72?
Yes,
And,
72.
and his ass never touched the seat. He was standing up on the turns, and everybody was wondering,
What's
what
he doing?
in the
What's he
hell
doing?
is he doing? He never sat down. All these other riders, these Europeans, were just scratching their head. And he blew them away, and he was 16 years old. And turned out later years we became very good friends. From when he was 16, I think I met him in the sand pits when my motorcycle was broke down. I had a chain link wrapped up in my rear sprocket.
That doesn't sound fun.
And this guy came up and lifted up the back end of the bike, and he said, "Here," he said, "you hold the bike up here, and I'll spin the back tire." And he got me going. And when he rode off, one of my buddies said, "You know who that was?" I said, "No." He said, "That was Marty Tripes." I said, "No."
What?
Yeah. It was Marty Tripes helping me out.
And you couldn't catch him to get an autograph.
Yeah, or
no.
thank him. Yeah.
And anyway, as the years go on, I was chasing him around down the pits when I was riding a sheriff's off-road vehicle. But that's a different story. I can never
Out in
catch him.
Santee?
In Santee sand pits. Remember that, Marty?
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to remember that.
Yeah, right.
and they wondered why I couldn't catch him. But they knew I was racing motorcycles. They said, "Why can't you catch him?" I said, "Well,
That's Marty Tripes.
That's a whole different ball game there." Anyway, later, Marty Tripes, we rode in Mexico a lot together. He showed me the trails down there, the Baja trails, and we had some good, drank a few beers and rode motorcycles. And one year he called me up and he said, "You know that Los Ancianos Motorcycle Club won't allow us to join their club." I said,
Wonder
"Why?"
why.
I wonder why. He said, maybe it's our reputation. And I said, "Well,
Really?
we're a drinking club with a motorcycle problem." And he said, "That's why." So we formed a club called the Borrego Negros, and we started putting on rides down there. And the revenue that we got, we were helping a school in Tecate, and we bought them a school bus. We helped a lot of the kids out with money and sponsorships. That was really cool, Marty.
Yeah, it was very satisfying. The one kid, parents were dead, and he was living out in the sticker bushes. But he made himself go to school from very low grade. And damn if he didn't graduate. And I think we put him through college with the funds that we produced and income from our rider.
Sure.
Right.
So that's what Borrego Negro is about. We never took a dime.
Right.
And we,
Are you still doing it?
well, right now with the COVID, we
Well,
haven't
Until
done
COVID,
it.
but yeah.
Yes.
But until-
yes,
But right up to
yes.
COVID,
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
Yes.
Well, what I would love
Super
again,
cool, huh?
Yeah, what I'd love to do when you guys decide to do your next one, let me know.
You got a week and a half to get ready.
Not a problem. I can make you a KUSI. All you have to do is come to me. It's easy. I don't have to lift a finger. But, and the reason I bring it to your attention is because one thing on TV, I don't get paid to do KUSI. I volunteer to do it because it's all about giving back. And if we do it maybe a couple of weeks prior to your event, if you're looking for more riders, be ready because you will get inundated because usually it's a 50% increase of whatever you're doing once you've been on TV.
Yeah, Joe has a lot more information on this.
Yeah, but Dave said he doesn't get paid. But if you see what's in the parking lot
Well,
out there,
they're gonna
there's
take
a
it away
Aston
Wednesday.
Martin,
Right.
Aston Martin sitting out there. That's like a $200,000
But they're going to take it away
Yeah, he only
Wednesday.
gets it a week.
And they gave me a Volkswagen Ayrton.
But I have the key in my pocket.
Buzzkill.
Yes, you
The
do.
key
You
is in
better
my
make sure you
pocket.
have those keys, Dave, when we leave.
I'm gonna take it for a little spin.
I bet you. Oh man, I could see it now, just like
Oh boy.
Days of Thunder.
And
Come back with a door hanging off.
Anyway, Marty Tripes started doing a Marty Tripes motorcycle clinic, and he was my trainer, and I used to go do a lot of training with him, and I appreciate learning a lot of the things that he knew that the average rider didn't know how to do.
Because he wouldn't tell them.
No, he wouldn't tell them. And one time he worked with me on just the starts for about 4 hours working. Remember that, Marty? 4 hours of the
How
start.
can I remember a 78-year-old guy taking off on a 450 and he's hanging on like he's a wet rag. And he comes to me, he goes, "Is that how you do it?" I go, "That's pretty close."
That's
yes.
pretty close. Yeah, you're halfway there. Well, if it took 4 hours, would that say he's kind of a slow learner?
Well, it
No.
paid off because it's hard. And then he went to the race, and here's Joe at 70 some odd years old, and the oldest guy in the line's like 25, right?
Yeah.
He gets to the first turn, he's leading, and he goes, "I didn't know what to do."
I got there first, but now what?
Now what?
Now we got to go work more on the track.
I usually like to be chasing somebody, but when you're in the lead, it's no fun.
It really isn't.
Yeah,
You can't breathe. You forget to breathe. That's number one.
And all these punks are coming after
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
man.
You know, it's no fun. But I've had some real good times with Marty. He's a personal friend. He's got a big heart. He's not only a Hall of Famer, but if people know who he is, he's all that.
Heart of gold.
He's all that. Yeah.
So
for sure.
let me just ask you. So starting, you're absolutely right.
Oh yeah.
It's the most important. What are some of the little? Don't give me all of them, but what's one of the main trick that you taught this old bird as far as starting goes?
Well,
dropping that clutch. Dropping that clutch.
yes, most people, they don't lean far enough forward. And then they don't know how to make dead weight. You ever had your body, like, say, a drunk, and you're trying to pick him up the pole?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can't.
You know how heavy he is?
Yeah.
Well, you can do that with your body on a bike, and the weight equals traction because it's putting the knobby into the earth.
Yeah.
And so that was hard to teach them. Was like you're laying dead drunk
Yeah.
over the bars, but yet you're racing.
Yeah.
Yet you're not drunk, Joe. You're not. You made that clear, right?
And I think because like I was watching, it's funny you should say it because I was watching last night, and I was watching the 450s and the 250s go off, and they all had their finger on the front brake and on the clutch pedal. So do you touch the back brake at all, or do you just hold
no back brake.
Hold it with the front?
Mainly the reason they have the front brake on is they're revving those bikes so hard.
Right.
The clutch is heating up, and it's starting to drag. It's starting to want to go forward. So it's just kind of a safety factor.
Gotcha. There's nothing worse than hanging your wheel up in that metal bracket when it comes.
Yeah, we've done it once or twice, but it makes you a lot faster racer. Somehow you got to get back to the front so you win.
Yeah. Well, like I said, to me, back in your day, I mean, no different than today. I mean, everybody wants to win. I mean, nobody's out there just because they're having fun. I just think there might be a little bit more pressure today, you think, from sponsors and factories, or would you say it was pretty tough even back in the day?
Yeah, it's been tough all along the different years, the bikes, the suspension, the power. But the thing is, what the most biggest factor is, you have to want it.
Yeah.
Even if you got a bad bike, you got to look every up and down the line and say, their asses are mine.
That's right.
And you got to let them know it by your eyes or telling them or whatever you got to do.
Telling them, huh?
You
kind
do.
of the Dale Earnhardt.
I used to go down the starting line
Oh, really?
and tell every one of these SOBs that I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And they'd look at me like, wow, he just said that to me? And you
Now
know
I'm
what it does,
thinking about
it
it.
messes up their minds,
Psychological.
Not only could I do it, but it really,
Well,
their
see,
mind
that's
was
where the
gone.
bad part was.
Yeah.
You told them, and then you did it.
Yes.
So
you gotta
now
back
the
it
next race, it's like,
All you had to do is look at them the next time.
up. Yes.
well, because not, I would equate that to say Dale Earnhardt, because he used to do that all the time. He'd intimidate the snot out of you
That's what
to
you
the
gotta
point
do.
where he painted his car black. He wore the big dark sunglasses, refused to wear a full face so you could see his face, and it was all about intimidation. And he was unique because he took the sport 10 times over. He would drive with his head out the window because he wanted to feel the air on his face so that when he was behind a car, he knew whether he could slipstream him or not. And I'm sure that's what you did. I mean, you ate, slept, and drank motorcycles.
Yeah, one night before the race in Michigan. This is typical dumb idiot Marty. We had a pie eating contest. Who could eat it the fastest? And there was like $1,000 for the winner. So I ate a lemon meringue pie, and I beat everybody. And Hannah was there egging it on because I was beating him, and he didn't eat the pie. So I did it for the $1,000, and after everybody left, I went and threw it up,
Yeah.
So I was fine. But the master of this was Joe Robert from Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come up smoking a cigarette on the starting gate, looking for the 2-minute sign, and he'd reach over with his cigarette and put it out on the guy's grip next to him. You know?
Really?
Oh, yes, for real. Or he'd take a whiskey bottle
What?
and he'd empty it, or vodka,
and
and it was poured full of water.
Yeah.
In Austria, the running group FIM said he couldn't race because they had believed he was such a trickster that he was guzzling this
Of water.
and they
but-
thought it was whiskey. And all the riders are looking at him, and so they had to pull him, they had to stop the start before they started, and they had to talk to him, and he had to convince them that it was a prank, that he never drinks before a race, but he did sometimes. But in this particular race, he had everybody fooled, including the officials. So they had to go and smell his breath and do all this stuff, and that's the type of guy Joel was.
Wow.
And I try to copy him, obviously.
Well, yeah, because look how well he did. I mean, that is just.
Well, that was Marty Tripes' hero.
Yes.
Right,
Oh,
Marty?
that yeah, right. That
Idol.
was
Yeah,
your
you-
hero.
you
That was
wanted-
him.
You learned a lot of bad things from him.
Yes. We could talk about the Czechoslovakian Grand Prix, but I don't think we will.
Yeah, this is a family show. Well, like I said, it's motorcycling today. Has come so far, like we talked about, and the young kids coming up today through the ranks. I mean, I would think it's just as difficult as it was when you were coming up through the ranks.
Yes. I mean, right now, these guys have semis and bikes that are just astronomical. And then I'm always for the underdog myself. And you take JoJo Killer, who quit racing 10 years prior, and he goes to Unadilla, New York, on a bike that's 15 years older than all the modern 4-strokes. He's on a 2-stroke.
Yeah.
He goes out without no practices, and he gets 3rd place in the national first moto.
Whoa.
Can you imagine the team managers looking at their riders like, why are we paying these guys?
Yeah.
And look at him on that old beat-up bike. He came here in a Volkswagen Bug with his bike on the rear bumper, with tie-downs to keep it on there. So,
Hey, that proves it's not the arrow, it's the Indian.
it
Well,
is.
Yeah,
you
right.
gotta want
Well,
it,
like
you
Tommy
said.
Croft. Tommy Croft, the Tomahawk.
Yeah.
It is the Indian.
Yeah, it is. Oh, man, those names. I'm getting goosebumps. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Racer Radio with FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks. Welcome back to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
All right. Brittany's done it again. Brought in Marty Tripes
Yeah.
and Smoking Joe.
I see the phone lines are lit up there, Dave.
No, you know
Looks
what?
like Peter Starr's calling for Brittany.
Yeah, well, that's no doubt. The phone just melted. No, I stopped taking phone calls years
Except
ago.
him.
Well,
We
he's
took calls from
different.
Marty.
See, he's different. But it's just I spend too much money to have somebody call in and say, "Is my water pump leaking?" And do you know what
Yeah.
you could do to
Yeah.
fix it? No, not doing that stuff. So what are you doing now?
Just trying to live day to day.
Having fun with it.
He's crewing
know-
for Smoking Joe.
It was funny. I was having this conversation with a very old friend, and I was going, I'm tired. He goes, what do you mean you're tired? I go, I just reflect, and I go, I have been going since I was 12
Yeah.
years old. I started putting together, and something I didn't even think about. I've been a world champion in 3 different sports. And,
Three different sports.
Three different sports. The
Okay.
first two L.A. Coliseums with the Europeans there. Then in short course, Mickey Thompson, 1985.
Oh, that's right.
And then paintball, Guns of Navarone, which I'm responsible for paintball. I'm one of the forefathers. We were world champions 88, 89, and 90
In paintball?
in paintball. I'm a big innovator of paintball.
No
When you
kidding.
play paintball, there's a gun that you have to shoot over for
Right.
the speed limit. The speed limit's 300 feet per second,
Uh-huh.
and that's Marty Tripes. I'm the one that created that.
That was your little invention?
Yeah, the safety
Did you
goggles.
patent that?
No.
Nope.
You know what? Peter Starr just left. He hung up.
That's so funny.
There's like 8 of them I should have patented. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
darn it.
But you had fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a blast. But the thing is, there was another 20 years of living on an airplane, the same as Supercross and motocross. And, you know, I look at planes these days and going, you guys can have that.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, man. I have a press event that I got to go to next month, and it's a 5-hour drive. So I looked at it and I said, okay, by the time I get up in the morning, go to the airport, stand in line, get all this, get on the plane, fly to Tucson.
You're better just driving it 6 hours.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to I'm going to order a pretty cool little car, and I'm just going to bail over there. But I'm like you. I didn't do as much flying as you did because you flew everywhere.
Yes. I'm just now adding that up and decided to finally write a book. And
You going to write a book?
I am.
Excellent. Okay, here's the deal. As soon as it's done, give me a copy. I will read it, and then I will definitely
It'll be a
promote it.
little hard. It's a Mexican language, so
Oh, boy.
I don't know how many people are going to be able to read this.
Oh, Brittany could help me.
Oh, no. I hope there's lots of pictures.
Yes.
Well, and I think it's so important that you do that because it's just so important that you take, and I know you probably don't think so, but your history, as Smokin' Joe will tell you, is priceless, and it needs to get on paper, on a screen. You just need to capture it. You know what I mean?
They've been bugging me for years, and
I
finally I
know.
said, you know what? I don't think it's going to be that interesting. But that's just me
That's
thinking.
you. That's you.
So we're just going to do it and see what happens.
What do I tell little kids when they come in here? I say, go, when you leave
Oh,
here,
write in a journal.
go get a journal, 1 page a night before you go to bed. Just write it down. Whatever your day was like, write it
Where
down.
was he 50 years ago?
I know. I wish I would have done it, Not that my life is as exciting as somebody like yourself or even Smokin' Joe. But, at the age of 45, 50 years old, you just hand it to a TV producer and they make a movie out of it and everybody would go watch it. I mean, look
Well,
at...
I
Seriously.
can't really say, but you never know.
Never say never.
Marty, can I do one of the chapters for you?
Oh, boy.
You better think twice on
I
that.
better
Make sure
make it a
you-
secret chapter.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Proofread it, Marty.
proofread it after he's written it and take it away.
Yeah.
But I think, but one thing, it seems that you've got a pretty decent memory. So you're able to capture, the experiences that you've had throughout the years.
Yes, a lot of it, and there's a lot that I forgot, and I've just been getting reminded from friends. So what I did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all my friends from grade school, from racing going forward to this year, all of them are writing what they did with me.
Oh, my
What
gosh.
they
that's,
saw.
That's brilliant.
And then I
Yeah.
got all the
brilliant.
racers, pro racers that are still alive. Jesus, we're old.
I know.
And,
I know.
If you
They're
have to say
telling all-
that.
like there's a really famous story of Jim Weinert. Back then, marijuana was kind of the drug for some riders, and I'll just tell you this quick story. Anyway, he made fresh brownies for Brad
Oh.
Lackey, and I walk in the motor, and I'm going, God, smell those brownies! I could eat that whole thing.
No, I hope
and
you
Weinert's
didn't.
Weinert's going, don't touch those brownies, Marty. I go, just one. He goes, don't touch those brownies. I ate like 3 of them.
No, you did not.
I did. Nothing happened. An hour later, I go into the restaurant to have dinner before the race the next day, and I cut my steak, and I couldn't stop with a knife. And I looked at everybody, I go, I am a robot. And somebody help me. And I cut that steak for 20 minutes in the same
my
spot.
gosh.
That is so funny.
Oh, I had no idea what happened to me.
Yeah.
We all got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. That is, but that is such a smart way
Yeah.
reach out to all the friends that are still and have them do. And then it's all you have to do is get somebody to, piece it all together.
Yes.
Not only does it bring up memories you may have forgotten, but it also shows a different perspective.
Oh, it's different. Yes.
Yeah, because what you've seen versus what they've seen might be just a little bit different.
Going down the highway in Pennsylvania and wondering why everybody stopped and looking up the hill.
Yeah.
There's 3 UFOs. I've seen them.
You did?
I've seen a lot of weird things traveling around the world.
Yeah, I would imagine so, but nobody wants you to say anything.
Yeah, they'll think I'm nuts. Well, guess what? I am nuts.
Yeah, aren't we all? And what a great way to be, huh?
But motocross and racing, people that you meet in it are all have pretty good common sense.
Yeah.
And they're good people.
Right.
If you're good to them, they'll give you the shirt off their back.
That's right.
If you crash and nobody's with you and you got a broken leg, they're the first ones to step up and say, we'll take your gear, we'll drive your
That's
truck,
right.
get you to the hospital, take all your stuff home and put it away. Motocross people are really good people.
They really, really are. Because it's a family.
Yes.
I mean, for one thing, you traveled from circuit to, to all the different races. And even though you were competitors on the track, you were friends off the track because where else would you go?
Right. Yeah, the family's good. And I think it goes for drag racing, automobile racing. I think it's just the racing part of it is good.
Yeah.
It keeps kids out of trouble.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Motivation, too busy,
Get
too
them
tired.
off that cell phone and computer games. My God.
I know. And we get little kids in here as young as 7, 8, 9 years
I do that
old.
to you, yes.
And it's just a handful.
Make a fire. How do you do that?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, my God, really?
Well, did you see the one where they handed these kids a rotary phone?
Oh, they don't know how?
I got one still.
I do too. And they said, make a phone call.
Yeah.
And they could not figure out how to make a phone call with that.
This
I've
one I
seen
got was an ancient one, and it's got a white handle, and they used it in Star Trek, of all things. And I told this kid, hey, go make this phone call. And he couldn't find the rotary button, the wheel.
Yeah.
Because it was sitting underneath the phone.
Oh, it's the one
remember
where you
those?
turn. Oh, yeah.
So you
got
pick
one
it
of
up.
those?
I have one of those.
Are you a collector?
Some things.
I'm terrible.
Shavers, razors.
Yeah, I'm into. Have you ever seen the M&M's candy dispensers? This tall?
Oh, yes.
I have every one of them, and as you come in my front door, they're lined both sides.
I bet you did.
Antique radios. I just bought a 1923 lighter, a Ronson lighter. They must weigh 4 pounds.
Yes.
So I had to go buy an ashtray, of course, and I don't even smoke. But yeah, no, it's
M&M should call you and give you the money that they're giving Kurt Bursch.
they should come to think of it. Well, you know what? If you Google those candy, there's no more available. I've gone
You
and bought
have them
every
all,
one of them.
yes.
It's worth money.
I know, but they're all my kids. I'm not
Right.
selling all this. What do you think, Pops?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna come
I
back.
was gonna tell you about a story at Verona Oaks Raceway.
All right, you got a few minutes. Go for it.
Hey, there was mini madness up there, and I rolled to the starting line, and I get to the starting line. I looked over to my left side, and I see Ron Lachine, a former national champion there.
Wow.
And I'm like 65 years old, and I said, Ron, am I in the right line? He said, are you over 40? I said, yeah. He said, well, you're in the right line. They dropped that gate. He was racing, and I was chasing.
You're right. So, did you catch him?
No.
You didn't catch him. Oh man, we was hoping you were catching.
Next time.
Well, Marty, I'm just going to say it right here and now. You are always welcome to come back. Love to help promote your book. We'll definitely let's put an hour together and come in and just have some fun. What do you think?
Certainly.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah. Because
Between Lars and Tommy Croft, myself,
oh my God.
oh, you'd want to make sure they tune in for that one.
Yeah, I got a sneaky feeling we will definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right, Brittany,
Yes,
as
sir.
always, out of the park. You did a
Thanks.
phenomenal job.
Thanks, guys, for having us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. All right, we're going to go ahead and take